Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. We're gonna get the the normal start off business over with right away. Can you see me? Can you hear me? The housekeeping duties. Let me know in the chat if you can see me, hear me, if everything seems to be okay, and we'll move on from there. So, see me, hear me, everything should be good. I'll just let the stream let me know. You should be able to see me because I can see me on the YouTube preview. So that should be good. And Ken says, sounds great. So let's see, just quickly going through the pre-stream chat. Bucks tap this thing on and says, oh yeah, first Jet's having craft dinner. And I don't think the Americans necessarily know what that is, but yes, it is craft macaroni and cheese. I think you just call it craft mac and cheese down there. We call it craft dinner. And Ken, I would not, let me just test the this feature out. I would not agree with you. It's not one of the best tasting pasta dishes out there. I think we would have a disagreement there. Oh, many a story around the Allowed craft dinner, yeah. Let's see. And Buck's saying, what? I can't see or hear you, Andrew. Is this thing on? And Jordan says, that sounds great. Perfect. Okay, we are good to go. So tonight, if I get around to doing any model work, because you know how the streams go, I am going to be, well, let me hop over to the bench view for a moment. I have to get this thing right here prepared for primer. So I've got this to prepare for primer. So in order to do that, I have to finish off the seam around the neck plate. That I had some issues on this particular kit getting that to sit down properly. So that's now really well secured down. So we need to get the seam work on there. There is some underside seam work that needs to be touched up, but we also need to get the impulse engines masked off, the warp engines masked off. We need to get some fiber optic into the areas where the nav lights are, just to protect the nav lights during primer. And we also need to make sure that I don't forget to mask the phaser array, because let me hop over to the back here. Let me grab this beauty here. Looks a beaut in her primer gray. Looks really, really good. Turned out really, really nice. But I did forget to mask the phaser arrays on this one. So I had to get out the Q-tips, the alcohol, and clean that off, get it masked off, and then get the primer touched up. So I'm always worried I'm missing something on these when I go to put like a major stage down, like a primer down or an assembly or something like that. And in this case, that was warranted because I forgot to mask it off. But no harm, no foul, took care of it. Just don't want to risk doing that on the other one. So let's see. I've got those to mask off. I've got the little bit of seam work left to do, touch-up work. I also have to add a few loose parts. Let's see what we have in the container. Can you see what's in the container? Well, I can tell you what's in the container. We have the lower phaser array for the secondary hull. We have the aft shuttle bay doors. We have the tractor beam emitter. Doesn't arrive till Tuesday. We have the end caps for the nacelles. And then we also have the worst parts in the world. And whether you use the plastic parts included with the kit, which I'm going to use, or you use the photo wedge, these things have a nasty habit of flying off into the unknown, boldly going where no part's gone before. I have lost these over the years when building these. So I have 5 and I need 3. So I can lose up to 2 and be okay. They are the docking ports around deck 3. So one on the back and one on each side here. So we've got parts to install, putty to put on, and masking to do. And that's what I'm going to do if I get any work done tonight. And as you know, we don't always get work done on streams. So let's see. Buck says, wait, I feel outnumbered. It's all Canadians in here tonight. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing to be outnumbered by the Canadians. Wait, what? We have a non-Canadian here? And then Buck says, and I include Jordan in that number. He just got lost on the way to work one day and ended up in Seattle area. Jordan says, I'm a terrible Canadian. Welcome, Skull, to the stream. Skull says, hi, Andrew and all. Well, hi, Skull. Let's see. And some people saying hi. It's a Starship. Of course, parts are going to go boldly, or to boldly go somewhere. Yeah, but those things are so tiny. And they're round. So if, and you really need a pair of forceps or something like that to apply them. So they just like fly off into the unknown. Hey Ken, Buck, Jordan, and Jet says, no Aztec Dummy update video this Friday. I hope Lou's plane didn't crash. Lou did arrive home, but he arrived home on Friday. So I was not expecting a video this week. So I think I'm caught up on the chat for the moment, but it'll get out of control pretty soon, don't you worry. All right. Ooh, I just almost lost my keyboard off the desk there. Okay. Going back to face cam here. So, just a little bit of an update on the weight loss journey before we get started. I started out, when I started measuring myself, weighing myself, I started out at 189.9 pounds. I had topped out, oh, hi Danny, I see you in the chat there, welcome. I topped out just a little over 190, but when I started measuring myself for the diet, I was at 189.9. Today, I weighed in at a measly 167.8, so I have dropped, as of today, 22.1 pounds, which is 10.02 kilograms, and for the Brits among us, that is 1.58 stone. So that is the update. I did some calculations, and I figure that at the rate I'm going, which is about 0.34 pounds a week, I should be, if I keep going at that rate, down to my ideal healthy weight in about 11 weeks, which should take me all the way to February 1st. So we'll see how that works out, but that is where I'm at with the weight loss journey. Still going. I have introduced a couple of carbs back into my diet once a week. So sushi, I've had sushi. And then today I was out at a breakfast and I had breakfast potatoes. So potato for the first time, but just a small amount, just to encourage my body to kick back into the weight loss mode. I get one obvious carb a week. So that's, I enjoyed that. Let's see. Trek Mods is here. Welcome. We think no more of Inco on a Starship Saturday night. Okay. I'm not sure what you mean. Buck says, I would love to see 199 again, but I have lost a small child 70 pounds and am down to about 215. It's amazing. It doesn't feel like when you lose an amount, you don't notice it as you're going, but then if you go to pick up something, so if I go to pick up something that's 22 pounds and carry, I couldn't imagine having to carry that around with me all day, but yet I was, right? Let's see, Jet says 20 pounds is impressive, keeping it off is a challenge, yes indeed, but obviously I will not be eating the way that I used to eat. I will be definitely not dieting quite the same way once I hit my target rate, but I will also not be going back to eating the amount of carbs that I was eating before. So hopefully that will keep it all under control. And then once I lose, the next 30 pounds or just under the next 30 pounds, then I'll be a lot lighter on my feet, and it won't be quite so much of an effort to say go for a jog or a run or something like that every day or two or something like that. So that should also help it, because my knees don't like it so much when I'm carrying the extra weight to go for a jog. It's a lot easier if I don't have that on. So shed the weight and then do something to maintain it once we get there. So yeah, and just some more people saying hello to each other. All right. Okay, so what do I want to start with today on here? I think I'm going to start adding parts. They're not difficult parts, but they need to be added nonetheless. So I need to, let me start with the lower part, the underbody part that needs to go on there. Actually, there's two of them. So there's the phaser array underneath there, which also has the part for leading into the trench for the oh, Danny's getting commercials again. That's no fun. All right. So there's a phaser array part, and it's got a little bit of the underbelly of the secondary hull that leads into the deflector dish. And we also have the tractor beam emitter that needs to go on. So let's get those parts started first. And we are needing to deal with wire management during all this. Okay. All right. Let's see. Here are my loose parts. Oh, I need to switch to the table. There we go. Got my loose parts. And let me grab the CA glue. CA glue. Let me grab a seat on my stool. Jet says, I'm 5'4". I look like a paint can. Well, you know what, Jet? I am also 5'4". That's why my target rate is so low. I need to be around the 140 range to be healthy. And I could go further. Like, I could go down to 130 and not have a problem. When I went away to college, I was, like, to university, I was about 120 and a 28 waist. Then the Pizza Hut Big New Yorkers kicked in late at night when assignments were due, and we were up all night working. And yeah, that wasn't good. I mean, they tasted good, but yeah, they were delicious, but not nice for the freshman 15, right? But yeah, because I'm 5'4", my target range is around the 140 or lower. So I'll be happy hitting the 140 because that means I'll be at a healthy weight. Let's see. Danny says YouTube is going absolutely insane with the amount of commercials that's been spewing at me lately. I get commercials every 5 minutes or so. You should not be. The way that it's set up, it should not be doing that to you on the stream. Are you watching on your phone through the app, or are you watching on your computer? Let's see. Lose parts? No, loose parts. Loose parts, not Uncle Lou parts. Loose parts. Danny also says 5'4". I'm 6 foot and I'm considered relatively average here. Yeah, well, you know what? Not all of us are blessed with tall genes. Some of us have to suffer through. I'll tell you, there's a lot of places I fit that tall people cannot. And I'm the tallest one in the house. So there's that. Until my kids outgrow me, that is. Okay, Tractor beam emitter. It's not even Tuesday, and we're installing the tractor beam. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. Let me clear that off the screen. No, not moose parts. We don't have moose here in Kingston. You have to go a little bit further north for that. I will say, if you encounter a moose on the road, just stop. Just stop. And I don't care how much of a rush you're in. I don't care where you need to be. Wait for the moose to go wherever it's going to go before you get going, because no matter what vehicle you got, moose is going to win. Danny says, I watch on the PC, but it's commercials everywhere on all channels right now. That is no fun at all. 'Cause here's the thing. If I choose to demonetize my streams, they're going to throw you commercials anyway. It's just that I won't get any of the benefit from it. So I've got it set to the lowest threshold so that it should be sending the fewest amount of ads out. Because if they're going to send ads out anyway, I might as well benefit from that. But I've got it set to the lowest amount, so you should not be pestered by them. Ken says, like the moose on the loose. Buck says, kind of creepy keeping a can of loose parts on your bench. Loose parts. Yeah, I was thinking loose parts. That's why there is no update this week. Yeah, sure. Spruce goose parts? Nope. There we go. All right. You're gonna see the top of my head? Oh well. Fortunately, there's no bald spots back there. There's no real good way to glue in this part. And the tractor beam... Oh, I don't even have a face cam on here. There we go. The tractor beam part fits terribly. I mean, it fits properly, but you usually have a lot of work to get there. Although, this one just slid in no problem tonight. I had to fight with the other one. On the gray Enterprise back there, I had to fight with that one. So it's kind of nice that this one went without any problems, ain't it? Okay. That part is in. Now I'm definitely going to have to add some more putty here. Oh, you can't even see that because the post is in the way. Here, let me move this. So I'm puttying this area in because it is so rough underneath here. It's taking a lot of putty to get this smooth. It looks really good on the other one, but I'm definitely going to have to put another coat on here and then smooth that down. Let's see. Ken says, hey Andrew, I don't have Facebook. Do you know what the time frame is for the Enterprise B? I do not know, but let me send Dennis a message here while I'm thinking of it. So just stand by while I type out a quick message to Helios. Time frame is on the Enterprise B's B and Excelsior being sent out are. Can I just wondering what your time frame is on the Enterprise B and Excelsior being sent out are. That's going to Germany, so I do not expect a reply back tonight because it is probably stupid o'clock in the morning where they are. So, all right. Message sent. Also, if anybody here is building the Enterprise, the 650 Enterprise D from Helios. Sorry, I'm just trying to get back to my chat here. So if anybody is building it and you want the files for the window masks, I do have a if I've sent you the sporadic ones, I do have consolidated files now, with the Silhouette Studio files. If you don't have a Silhouette cutter and you need the masks, contact me. I can send those out. However, I can't send anything out right now because Canada Post is on strike. So I have just sent out 3 packages late this week, and I'm sure they're going to be held up in a warehouse somewhere because they probably didn't make it across the border or across the pond before Canada Post went on strike. So if you are building the Helios Enterprise D and you need those masks, I can give you the digital files if you've got the cutter, or I can print them, cut them for you and send them to you. But just understand there is currently a delay because of the Canada Post strike. So Danny says bench camera looks low res. Like this one? It looks low res? Or does it just look low res compared to the Pocket Cinema 6K Pro, which is right here tonight? Trying that one out as a face cam. It may look low res compared to that. But that is an iPhone 11 that I've got up there tonight. So I can zoom it in if necessary, but it shouldn't be too bad because it is an iPhone. So it should be decent. DeForest Farming and Hobbies waits for a banhammer attack. Well, hopefully you won't say anything in the chat that would get you banned, because that wouldn't be fun for anybody. Let's see. Jet says this timeline places the Enterprise B's operational period from 2293 to 2329, spanning approximately 36 years. Very nice. Not what was being asked. He was asking about a time frame on the models being sent out. TrekMod says, just in case anyone is interested, there will be more videos of the Excelsior refit build. I've gotten back to work on it and it will be completed. What kit is that? What kit are you working on? Let's see. I'm curious now. I am just going to check out YouTube here. Oh, I'm getting music. I don't want music. Okay, so is that a modification of the AMT kit that I'm seeing? I'm here. I'll show you what I'm seeing. I'm looking at is this the right thing? It's got Jordan's aligning the stars here, but I'm assuming this is what you're referring to. Is Jordan more than 2 people? Let's see. I need to get back to the chat. Okay. 1000 scale Excelsior, and yes, that is the right channel. Okay. Wait, did I even... I don't think I showed you. I pulled it up, but here we go. So this is the right channel. Let me clear the chat here, because I'm seeing a refit Excelsior in here. Looks very interesting. So I'm also seeing aligning the stars. So what's the connection with Jordan? Okay, I'm gonna go back to here for a moment. I'm gonna go back to the chat. Okay, where am I here? Let's see. Jet says, Andrew, you have the T-Rumps dance moves down pretty good. I have no idea what you're referring to there. Looks blurry, can't see any detail. Okay, well, I'll see what I can do. I'll probably bring it closer. I'll bring the camera closer when I'm actually doing some work on it here. It's the AMD one. What's the AMD one, Danny? Oh, AMT. Got it. Yeah, 1000 scale Excelsior. Danny clarifies, round 2. TrekMod says yes. Danny says, haha, AMD, I was just looking for a new processor. I meant AMT. Of course. TrekMod says, that's me. Ken says, Jordan is just so likable. TrekMod says, agreed. So is Andrew. Thank you. So what's the connection with having Jordan's thing there listed? Is there a connection there, or is it just that Jordan is so likable? I'm curious now. So that is, let's see, that is Trek Mods on YouTube. So if you haven't, hit the subscribe button. There you go. All right. Back to the stream, and let's go back to doing some work. I'll pull up the bench view, pull up my face cam, and we'll see about getting a little bit of a closer view here for Danny. I'm gonna physically make the camera go closer. There we go. Is that any better for you, Danny? Is that better? TrekMod says, I wasn't sure what I was doing in the beginning. And Jordan says he was giving credit to my channel. Very nice. Always give credit where credit is due. Very nice. Okay. Good to go. All right. There's more chat, which is still very much appreciated, Jordan says. And TrekMod says, I was trying to show the video to Jordan, and I thought that was how to do it. No problem. Got it. Makes sense to me. I was just curious. Danny says, still looks a little blurry to me. Does it look blurry to everybody else? Does it look blurry to everybody else? I don't know. I'm going to move it to a bigger screen so I can see. Oh, maybe a little bit. One moment, please. I'm going to reopen the app that controls this and resize it. Let's see if that helps a little bit. But you'll have to tell me if it helps, because I'm not sure. All right. Let's see, Danny, if this looks any better. Tell me if it looks any better. I don't know. I mean, the Pocket Cinema 6K Pro is so sharp, it might just be lacking in comparison there. I could switch. You know what? Let's see. Yeah. please hold while I switch cameras. Just bear with me for a brief moment. I just have to make sure. How am I going to do this? I don't want wiring in the way. No! Not quite what I was expecting here. But this is a change on the fly. If it works. I might have to reinitialize the app. Nope, not having any luck with this. So you're going to get stuck with the blurrier camera. My apologies. My apologies there. The quick hot swap did not work. So I'm going to go back to blurry cam. Because at least blurry cam was working. And a working blurry cam is better than a not working sharper cam, if that makes sense. All right, let's see. Actually, does that look better already? On my screen, that might actually look better. It's the same camera. Maybe it just needed the app to be fully refreshed. I don't know. All right, well, let me get back to the chat here. And yeah, let me know if this looks better. Let me get my face back up there. All right, back to the chat. Danny says I've got the stream on the highest setting. Ken says it's not as sharp, but not bad. Danny says nope, compared to previous streams. And then says, I'll check your last stream. Yeah, Jordan says there's bears with you? Quite possible. Bears with him lose parts explains everything. Yeah. Buffering. Oh, hope. I don't think that's on my end. Jet says, it's fine, Andrew. It's not really that bad. Danny says, yes, better. Trekmod says, I just thought it was my old eyes. Skull says, better. Ken says, looks better. Okay. All right. Yay. Problem solved. Why? I've got no idea. It's the same camera. But at least we've solved a problem. All right. This part here, the phaser, and it's not going to focus on that, but the phaser and the housing leading up to the deflector dish. This is also a notoriously bad fitting piece on this kit, so hopefully we have the same kind of luck we had with the notoriously bad fitting tractor beam emitter. Let me try that again. Hopefully we have the same luck as we did with the tractor beam emitter on this. Hopefully we'll have the same luck on this part as we did on the tractor beam emitter. Take two. Hopefully we have the same luck on the phaser array part as we did on that tractor beam emitter part. There, got it. Okay, all right. I knew I'd get it at some point. Now the trick with this one is sliding it in here. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. Oh, too much. There we go. So the trick with this part is that it has to be slid in from here for it to fit properly. And then the phaser array does not like to sit down. Like I said, this piece is notoriously bad. I'm actually going to carve away a little bit of the interior here. It seems like there's a little bit of a hump where it wasn't sitting down properly. It's down. So, what's going to happen, because there's no way, well, I don't want to put too much force on it. Don't mind me as I stab myself in the face. trim a little bit off the side. Hopefully you can see that. Trim a little bit off. Off the corner here. Oh, that's fitting better now. Much better. It just needed some trim work. Oh, I'm losing CA. CA spill. There we go. All right, yeah, so these pieces are notoriously bad for fitting. And what I had to do to get it to fit properly in there was I had to trim this corner here because the corner was just preventing it from sitting down properly in there. Now that I've been able to trim that out, it should be all good to go. I do want to be careful not to give it too much pressure, but that is well seated in there now, so that should cure up nicely. Danny says, while we are at it with this beautiful camera quality, can we just address the excellent tooling quality of Round 2's latest 2 new releases? I haven't seen them in person. Are they good? You're talking about the Cerritos and the Strange New Worlds? Okay, we definitely need to zoom out a little bit here now. That's the wrong way, Andrew. Wrong way. Okay. Might as well just turn this all the way around. Okay. Next, we need to add the hole plugs there. You can, if I tip it like this, you can see that there are plugs required for the back of the nacelles. So let's go ahead and add those, shall we? Danny says, yeah, I've seen them up close and they look insanely good. Also, nice detail they added with the 5mm LED brackets inside the hull. Yeah, although most builders are likely going to just use the LED strip, so not really necessary. Jet asks, Buck, are you wearing pants? I don't know that any of us care if he's wearing pants or not. I know I don't. All right, let's get those parts in. And Buck says maybe. Buck gives you a definite maybe. I want to clean that nozzle out a little bit. You know, I think I use my insane amount of magnet wire that I'm never going to use in a ship again. Now that I've got the really nice 30 gauge wire wrapping wire. I end up using it more often for cleaning out nozzles than I do for any sort of wiring. Okay. Danny says, wait, Andrew, you are not wearing pants? Definitely wearing pants. And green shoes, if anybody was caring. All right. Jet says, I'm not, but I do have socks on. Okay. Buck says, pants are overrated. Buck says, it all ties into my possible second channel called Buck's Naked Models. Well, you may just end up with maybe 0 subscribers if you call it that. All right. No fancy gluing required for these parts. Just throwing in a little bit of CA glue. And we're good to go. And these parts fit in really well. They'll require a little bit of, here, I'll show it to you. There's the part in place. There's the one without it in place. They fit in really well, and they sit in all by themselves without needing to be... I'm going to need to do some putty work on there too. I had to open up one of these nacelles because the... I don't know if you can see that the seam there. I had to pop one open because the 0402 SMD wasn't placed properly, but I should have tested it first before opening up to check because it still works fine. And the light still comes out where it's supposed to. All right, next one. Ooh. Let me clean some of this up before I throw the part in there. Missed that first time around, I guess. A little bit of flashing on the part. And sorry, unlike Ken, I don't have fancy music to play anytime I say flashing. That'll definitely require some detailed putty work on the end there, and I've just left comments up. That's fine. That's just a service I provide, guys. It's a service I provide. Jet's talking about this being a serious matter. I'm not sure what they're talking about. That's fine. All right, those are on. Let's get the last of the easy ones done, and then we'll move on to the hated docking ports. I don't like how the sprue gate came off there, but hopefully that'll get touched up with primer. Primer covers a multitude of modeling errors and issues, so. Just grabbing my needle nose tweezers. That's not going to cooperate very nicely for me tonight. Oh, maybe it will. The back end here is going to need some touch-up work too. Lovely. But that might be a post-primer touch-up. All right. Last but certainly not least, well, least as far as being the smallest parts. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get this on camera for you to show you, but most of this is sprue. And what we're looking at are just tiny little dots at the end of the sprues. One is missing on there because I had to use it on the other one. But those are the docking ports, and there are photo etch parts that you can put on there. But to be honest, at that size, the photo etch parts really don't give you any more detail than the plastic parts do. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I started using the plastic parts because I lost one of the photo etch. And the plastic parts at least give you the depth requirement that you need for them. So they're certainly not perfect parts, but at that size, at that scale, I'm not sure how you get something more accurate. Jet says primer also exposes areas that need more work. That's why I use gray primer, because gray primer, while primer covers a multitude of issues, it also exposes a multitude of issues. So, yeah. So I'm going to very gingerly cut this off. And I apologize if you can't see what I'm doing right now, but I have to be so careful that this doesn't fly off somewhere on the other side of the shop. Some of these teeny tiny parts have had a lot of flash on them. Fortunately, these particular ones seem to be relatively okay. And this is where it starts to get tricky. So I'm going to apply the CA to the ship itself. Actually, I'm doing that wrong. I'm going to apply a little bit of CA glue to this toothpick and then use the toothpick to apply it to the ship and then use the tweezers to apply the part to the ship. And hopefully we do all of that without losing the part, because they are so incredibly small. I'm used to large parts on large ships. There we go. Where's the part? Oh, there's the part. Okay. Let's see, before I put this on here, Danny says, I lost one of those this week. Andrew flew off the sprue, had to open a new Enterprise E set to make it 3. Yeah, I've got spares on hand, so which is helpful. Those things are so incredibly small. I actually found it easier to slice the knife through the sprue close to the part. Came out perfect, no detail work needed. Too bad I only figured this out on the third one. Yeah, so I am slicing it close to it, but there is a little bit of trim work that I've had to do. Because I find it easier to trim it up on the cutting mat than getting it perfectly off the sprue. And I'm going to err on the side of not losing any plastic on the part. All right. That looks about right. We'll let the CA glue do its job there. Yeah, I've got one. So I've lost one. I lost one completely this week on the other one. And I had a second one fly off, but I was actually able to find it on the floor. So that was a win. So there, I just sliced it off with the knife, but there is a little bit of cleanup to do. And really, there's just a cleanup to do because I'm picky. Oh, and that's everything off that sprue. So we're going to go for the rear one now. Well, look at this! Actually getting modeling work done on a live stream. Who would have thought? Okay. The placement of this one is tricky to get. Because you cannot see the indentation where it's supposed to go. So you kind of just have to make sure it's lined up by eye. Lined up center. That looks about right. Okay, 2 down, 1 to go. Danny says, and Jamie Hood is sending me a replacement set for the other E I had to open. Oh, that's very nice. I'm surprised they still have replacement parts for this. Let's see. You don't have a sonic cutter for cutting PE amateur. Yeah. Yeah, looking at Jordan's stuff with the sonic cutter, I can see a whole pile of uses for that all over the shop. Right, it's just a matter of not having the cash flow in the shop to be able to get one right now, or I would get one. That said, there's a multitude of things that I would like to get in the shop. I would love to have one. You know those really wide curved gaming monitors that are like super wide. I'd love to get one of those for editing. That would just make editing so much easier, being able to see the entire timeline. But one of those, and then a 5-color UV printer that is how Keith is making the decals. That would be amazing. But like I said, I have to get projects off the bench in order to get new equipment in the shop. So those things just get put on the wish list until projects are gone. Let's see. Why do you use CA glue versus plastic model cement to put the model together? Just in a general question. Personal preference. I would rather not melt the plastic together if that's also part of it. I don't really want to do plastic welding with it. I've just run into so many issues where you need to remove something or pop something open or getting into stuff. So it's a lot easier doing that if you've used CA glue versus a modeling cement that welds the plastic together. Let's see. Danny says, "Yeah, no, I cut it sideways along the docking port, along with the shape of." Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Plastic cement is horrible. It welds the parts together, melts them, can leave a mess if you and you can never correct or replace or open anything ever again. Yeah, that's exactly why, Danny. For me at least, no disrespect if you prefer. Yeah, and you know what? Everybody has their own preferences and their own stuff that they like to do, their own processes, and none of it's wrong. I mean, you could get things. There's some things that I've seen people do that are just outright wrong, but for the most part, it just comes down to somebody's preference, and CA glue is my preference on this type of stuff. I mean, there's lots of instances where CA glue will not work, and you need to go with something a little more super powered. Okay, so I'm breaking out my last set. I have to go really far to get this in frame right now. My last set of 3 to get 1 off of there. And Trek Mods says it very nicely. There's a time for both. Depends on the circumstances. Yep, I would agree. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this in frame here, but this one, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it has a lot more here. Let me set it on my phone. It's got a lot more flash around it than the other set did. So I've got that to clean up. Let's see. Not so funny fact I found out this week. Thin CA you can keep around forever. Medium or thick will go hard inside the bottle without opening it within a few months. I don't know. The CA glue that I'm using is medium, and I've had this in the shop for a long time, and it's still good. Maybe it's the colder climate we've got here. Todd is here. Todd says hello and good evening all. Well, welcome Todd to the stream. Working on getting this Enterprise E ready to be primed, just like the one over my shoulder is fully primed. So we're working on getting that taken care of, getting it prepped for primer, which means adding the few remaining parts, getting some stuff masked, and doing a little bit of last minute seam work. Danny says, but you are constantly using it, I guess, Andrew. It goes in phases. If I'm in a lighting mode, I'm barely using it. If I'm in a painting mode, not using it at all. In a building mode, I'll use it more often. But and depends on what I'm building. If I'm building one of these things, I'll be using it quite often. But I'm not using it on the not really using it on the Enterprise D, right? So it does end up sitting around for a long time. DeForest Farming and Hobby says, CA and me don't get along at times. I end up gluing myself to the model versus the parts. That can be true. Danny says, Andrew, that shuttle bay observation deck, is that the replacement part from Shapeways? No, that's the stock part. That's the stock part, which has been meticulously cleaned out, and it's got the photo etch in there. So yeah, it's not the Spaceways part. It is the original kit part. You are not the only one, DeForest. I glued myself to my cutting mat this week. Yeah, it can happen. It can happen. Just a word on the Spaceways parts that we all know and love, which we cannot get because Shapeways is out. Mark, the guy who has developed all those parts, he is still actively looking for a printing partner for his parts. He had them through Shapeways, but obviously Shapeways has gone away. May they rest in peace. And so currently his parts are not available. I rely on those parts on this kit specifically for the the deflector housing, because there is the one that comes with the kit is horribly inaccurate. So I rely on his deflector housing and Captain's Yacht part for these projects. I have one in stock, which is going to be going on the next client build of these. That's already in the queue. So I'm really hoping that he finds a printing partner before I need any more parts. So he's still looking for a printing partner. He has not had any luck. He's had a couple of options he's looked at fall through. So for anybody interested in updates, that's what the update is. So his parts are not available right now, which is a shame for anybody who wasn't able to get a hold of the bridge and conference room parts for the big Enterprise Ds, because I think they're going to add quite a bit to the builds. Trek Mod says I glued the glue tube to my hand. Impressive. Why are you not using the replacement Spaceways observation dock, Andrew? Any particular reason? Because I can get the stock part looking really good. That's the reason. Because I've done it enough now that I can get that stock piece looking really, really good. That's why. Chuck Mods also says, glued my fingertip to my glasses once. Funny story. I was in high school, and I was in high school. I was home on my own for the weekend, and I got it in my head that I was going to take a cast of my face, and I didn't know what I was doing. Ended up using plaster of Paris to take the okay, well, I'll recap there, Danny, for you. But so didn't realize that you had to put Vaseline on certain areas so that it would come off. Yeah, it got stuck really, really bad. It took me quite a while to realize that I needed to grab a vice clamp and crush it to get it off. So that was a bit of an embarrassing story of getting plaster of Paris stuck to my face. Yeah, I wanted to make my own prosthetics, kind of like Star Trek. So Danny said, why are you not using the replacement Spaceways observation deck, Andrew? Any particular reason? And the answer for that is that I can get the kit part looking really good. I can clean it out really, really well by now. I know my way around that part. I can get it to look really good. So for me, it's not really worth getting that part. The cost of it for the difference it makes, I can make the kit part look really good. So that's why. It would save you a lot of work, though, cleaning that part out and getting it to look just right. But I've got the photo etch window frame in there. Looks really good, so I'm not too worried about that. All right. What part am I working on? Oh, yes. The third docking port. Let me get that off the sprue. Did that without it flying away. Actually, I'm going to be so confident. Where'd the part go? Literally. It was just right here. Did I like blow it away? Literally, guys, this is what I'm talking about. How annoying these parts are. Okay, check my hands, check my arms. I mean, they're so small and so light they can cling to things. Like literally static cling to things. Like, it disappeared. It disappeared literally in front of your eyes on stream. How? Literally, how? Because, it's okay, literally, I was going to say, I'm confident I'm not going to lose it. I'm going to put the sprue away in the box, and I look back, and it's gone. Okay. That's ridiculous. Okay. We're going to systematically check the work surface. It could have gone in any direction. I would say if you see it, let me know, but it's so small, there's no way you're going to see it on camera if I can't see it in person. Let me just quickly get caught up on the chat here. Now you can 3D print your face. Yeah. Right? Maybe we'll get to see a preacher swear. Not likely. It's not part of my vocabulary. I see the black hole that was in my hobby room has now moved over Canada. Yeah. And yeah, I got all replacement parts for the Enterprise E back in the day. Even got the entire Nemesis set for the ship. I'm just glad I'd just go to bed at this point, Andrew. I've got extras. That's fine. I've got extras for that reason. Can someone rewind the stream to have a look where it went? I'm stuck with a pin vise inside a window. Stamps is here. Hi, Stamps. He says, hi, Andrew. It's the Enterprise E. Yes, it is. Todd says, I watched it back. Never saw the part. Bet it was stuck to your fingertips. Yeah, I've checked my hands. I have checked my hands. And in the split second it would have taken for it to disappear. I don't understand. Look on the model like Todd. He spent 30 minutes looking for the part in the floor that jumped back on his model. It would have to jump almost a foot to get onto the model. There's no way it landed on the model. It would have scattered somewhere on the table. Probably my breath when I talked was enough for it to be blown away. So I'm gonna systematically check everywhere on the table, and then if I need to, I will do a quick check on the floor, probably behind the table. But if it's not on the table, my chances of finding it are slim to none. Todd says, or is it hiding at the intersection of the lines on your mat? That's also a possibility. I grabbed my UV light, my UV flashlight, when I was looking for one that went away, that fell somewhere, because I figured it would show up better with the UV light. All right, so I'm going to check under the model. Oh, you got a really close-up look at the model there. I'm going to check to make sure it's not clinging to the bottom of the temporary base. I'm going to put this over here. Join me while I look for a teeny tiny part. Okay, lens cap. Not there. Moving the water bottle. The perfect plastic putty. CA glue. Toothpick container. Moving these things over to a safe location. It's not inside the plastic core. It's not in or around my mouse. Let's move. Didn't end up in the cap for the container for the CA glue. Under my phone. Under the keyboard. It's a hunk of resin. Actually, that's probably a hunk of epoxy. Didn't fall into my little paper towel pieces. Okay, checking underneath the computer without dropping the computer. Hello, computer. Computer? Nope. Okay, give me one moment. So if it fell on the floor underneath this desk, it's going to be a nightmare to find because I splattered white paint on the floor underneath this desk at some point. And yeah. Ugh. I am not going to spend the rest of the stream looking for that. No chance. So I will pull off one of the spares. I was really hoping to get through without digging into one of the spares, because I might need spares later. But we don't want a ship without its docking ports, especially when it's already got 2 out of the 3 on there. So let's pull this back out, and we'll go again. I'll have another really good look around after stream. But, oh, look at that! I've got a lot of chat to catch up on. Whew. Todd says, gonna watch it back again. One moment. Dash says, we'll check your sprue. No, it's... Okay, it phased out of existence. Literally, it phased out of existence and then popped back into existence. It was just laying on my mat again. I don't know. Well, found it. Maybe Q's been around. I don't know. Oh well, we found it, and I'm gonna get caught up on the chat. Let's see. Trekmod says, it looks like you cut it and then did this flicky thing with your fingers. And Todd says it's on the 20 line on your mat. Yeah. How did I not see it? Stamp says, ouch, right in my eye. Todd says, follow the 20 line, it's hiding. And Ken says, that's what it looks like to me. If I had just looked at the chat instead of flailing around for like 5 minutes, I would have found it faster. At least that's how it looks on the watch back, yeah. Trekmod says, the Googles do nothing. 3 inches above the 20 mark. Yeah, that's pretty much where I found it. I bet it stuck in the to the sprue. Yeah, it wasn't on the sprue. It definitely was not on the sprue. I think I still see it. Watching it back, nothing shot off. He's going off camera to yell. No. I've had a part clinging to the sprue before, thinking I cut it completely off. Yeah, I get it. I had already looked at the sprue. Newbies to the hobby should rewatch the stream and chat, as it's the perfect introduction. You get 1 or 2 things done. After that, you are looking for parts and gluing yourself to things. And Todd says, told ya. Stamp says it's a time warp. Danny says, ha 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 ha. Black hole spit it back out. And they say nothing can escape a black hole. An Enterprise E docking port can, apparently, yeah. And Todd says, nah, saw it there the whole time. Dash says, called it. Ken says, we have been watching it for a while and we're waiting for you to read chat. Yeah. Trekmod says, I think it was on the bottom of the stand. Nope, it was, Todd saw it. And I just didn't read the chat. Andrew did a World of Wayne looking for something without looking at the people yelling. Exactly. It's a service I provide. It's a live stream service I provide to make your entertainment more enjoyable. That's what we'll say. All right. Let's get the part on the ship before I lose it again. Oh, I need to trim it up. I think I need to trim it up. Here I go, losing it again. No, I need to trim it up, and this one's got flash. So, what Todd is saying is that it was hiding right here the whole time. I could not see that for looking. I could not see that for looking. It was hiding there the whole time. Danny says, see it now flying off at warp 11 because of the trimming. Yeah. Having a mat with lines that are close to the color of parts makes it worse. Yeah. Yeah. What's worse though is if you have a floor that's close to the color of your parts. That's worse. I was just dreading looking on the floor because literally there are white paint spots. Well, they're light gray. They're from one of the I think they're from one of the previous Enterprise builds. But gray or white paint flecks on the floor below here, which make it impossible because they're about the same size as the part. Okay. Let's get this secured on before I lose it. Hey everybody, it's me, the champ, and I lose it. I don't know if anybody gets that reference. But I do. Okay. Let's get this part on before it flies to worlds unknown. There we go. Now I'm going to put the extra bits in the box. Trek Mods, the champ, yeah. I just remember it being on the radio, and and some of the older high school students who did the announcements. One of them would do it, literally do the impression of it on the announcements. So yeah, I've got a few spare parts. I've got a few batches of spare clear parts. I've got a whole package of secondary hull parts, which is going to be useful on the next build. So yeah, so those go in the bottom of the spare parts box. And the spare parts box goes back on the shelf. And I left chat on. That's another service I provide. Okay. Now it's time to mask off the impulse engines, I think. Let's see. Todd says, bah, my lab carpet is beige with specks of brown and black in it. Talk about never fighting parts ever again. Yeah, I feel ya. Danny says, oh, by the way, the other Enterprise E set only had 2 docking ports on the sprue. Couldn't find the third one. Uh-huh. Probably fell off in the box. And check the folds. Check the box folds, because little parts can fit in there. Give me a moment. I just need to get a saucer top. And voila, spare saucer top. This is the one that that the paint went bad on when I was doing a static only version. So I'm gonna strip the paint off of these, the top and bottom, and reuse these parts because they are still good, still good. All right, I need to make pieces to fit in. Pencil. I need a pencil. Very low tech. That's just what we need right now. Cut this a little bit bigger than what I traced. And see what I need to trim off. I don't think I need to trim anything off that one. Danny says, haha, can you cut me out the conference room window area behind the bridge, Andrew? Did you have some trouble with yours? Is there a spot you need to do some repair work on? The Spaceways bridge replacement must be tiny. Wait, actually, I think I might have some of the bridge, like, have one of the bridges. Because didn't the bridge come with the deflector? There we go. That's the impulse engines masked off for painting. Danny says, opening up those windows is a pain in the neck. Cut one of the window posts between two windows. Now looking at a gaping hole there. I'm getting a photo etch part for that area from Kevin in the mail. Okay. Yeah, the bridge is a nightmare, but it looks amazingly accurate. I think that I have it. Now I want to check. You're making me want to check. All right. So I do have I didn't even think I had one of these, Danny. But look what I do have. I have one of the Shapeways parts for that. And I've got the insert. That's good to know. Sometimes you just forget what parts for things you have in stock. Danny says, hope he will try to replace that bridge part guy. It will be some great television. Not sure what you mean, Danny. See, what's this? This might be an empty... Oh! So yes. That is the bridge. hats off to you for replacing that piece. That looks like a pile of work. See, I thought I got it with the deflector housing. Let's see. So I still have one deflector housing. Yeah, I've got a second bridge as well, Danny. I've got 2 copies of the bridge. I'm not sure how you removed the bridge. I think I'd be tempted to, like, let's just, like, to my disc, my rotary sander, and just sand it right off. Yeah, I think that's what I'd be tempted to do. All right, where am I? Okay, I'm not gonna mask these off until right before, but I do need to deal with some seam work back here. So let's move on to some perfect plastic putty, shall we? What time is it? 10:33. I've got some time to do some putty work before we end for the night. Let's see. So let me reread. Hope he will try to replace that bridge part, guys. It will be some great television. Oh, I am okay. I am not replacing the bridge part. I am not replacing the bridge part. I am not replacing the bridge part. No, 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 no. It will be entertaining to watch you replace the bridge with the Shapeways part, as it is a pain to replace. I am not doing it. It took me 4 hours. Yeah, I can imagine. That sounds quick, actually. That sounds really quick. Todd says, this is where the Sonic Saber might be super helpful. Yeah, possibly. Danny says, you can't just sand it off. The replacement bridge has a lip to it that is supposed to go inside the hull, and you will destroy the lip area around the bridge if you sand it. All more reasons why I don't want to replace the bridge. Ken says, Andrew, do you want a Sonic Saber? I'm learning not to answer that question from you, Ken. Do I want one? Eventually I do want one. But I am quite happy to wait until the projects get off the bench and money comes in for them. But definitely a tool I will be getting at some point. All right, let's move on to doing some putty work. Okay. You know what? I'm kind of curious. I should just see if anybody's watching over on Twitch. Oh, and Twitch is let me mute Twitch. I don't know if you heard that or not, but it started playing my stream when I went over there. Let's see. It's doing it again. Doing it again. I don't know my way around Twitch quite as well. Okay, I'm at the stream manager. It says I have 1 viewer, but it might just be me previewing it, so I don't know. How are we doing on the tubes of you? 13 viewers. Nice. All right. Let's get to this. Danny says, wonder if you could use it to open... No. No. Ken says, okay. Thanks, Ken. Your generosity on the Enterprise B was well above and beyond. So, let's see. Danny says, I've heard the Sonic Saber can actually kind of warp the plastic a bit. Yeah, I don't know. Jordan was testing his out. So, he might have the answers on that. All right. Okay, let's get some slurry mixed up. I need a little plastic cup. I need water. A pipette. Three drops of water might be enough. And a toothpick. And here I am leaving chat messages up again. All right. When it comes to the Sonic Saber, I can probably get myself one before I start the Enterprise B project. Let's add a little bit more water. Another drop. Get all the little solid bits out. Danny says, I started to mix that perfect plastic goo inside the small cups if you have your water in it. Oh. Okay. I'll try that, Danny. I will give that a go. I'm going to reposition this camera slightly. Live repositioning. Again, a service I perform for you, the viewer. The thing I like about making the slurry is it naturally fills that gap so much easier because it'll actually run into the gap. Flow in, I guess. It doesn't run, it flows. Well, this is quite a gap that ended up happening on here. My glasses are off, so I can't look up to see what the chat is saying. Until I put my glasses back on. I really need to look at getting those glasses where they've got the 2 prescriptions inside. Sign of my age. Sign of my age, yet I'm one of the younger guys in the hobby. One younger guys at 44. That's why I enjoy seeing some of the very younger guys at Wonderfest starting to get interested in the hobby. Oh, quite a gap on the tail of this as well. Let's get that filled in. And a bit of a bubble on the pylon joint. Let's get that filled in as well. And that'll need some cleanup. Next, we're going to move to the neck. I'm going to put my glasses on and see what the chat's saying first. Danny says, and since the perfect goo is water soluble, you can just wash out the cup and reuse it for whatever. Yeah, true. And Andrew said, and Danny says, Andrew, can you please do all of the photo etch work on your live stream? That way I could also maybe learn a thing or two. What photo etch is going on here is easy peasy, so it's not really going to help you out much. All right. Danny says, would love to see the warp grills. Do you paint those before adding them to the plastic? Yeah. Paint them first and then attach them to the clear parts with microcrystal clear. Although I'm half tempted to paint rather than use the photo etch. But we'll see. Quite a gap here that needs some really good fill. This is not going to be prepped. This is not going to be fully prepped for primer tonight. I'm going to have to do a couple runs of putty on this, I think. Even though it's two of the exact same kit, each one has its own personality and issues. So I'm doing the two same kits side by side, but each of them have their own issues and quirks that need to be handled separately. Some seams are worse on one, better on the other, and vice versa. So I might be putting this on a little bit sloppy right now, but it's going to clean up beautifully with some water and a Q-tip. I'm just initially getting it to flow in that seam work there. All right. Now the problem I'm going to run into is that I'm not going to be able to do any more seam work on this tonight because I need all of that putty work to set up before I flip her upside down and do the ventral section. So, and I'm not going to put the warp grill masks on until right before I do the priming, because you really have to catch the edge of the plastic, because you don't want to leave too much exposed, but you need to leave some. Let me word that. You don't want to mask too much of the plastic because you don't want paint to be missing outside of the plastic grill part, but you want enough though to be able to glue the part to the piece. So the piece of tape that I put on there really has to just catch the edge of the opening, and it'll come off if it's not under, like, being held on by the primer. So that needs to go on right before primer happens. Yeah, let me get caught up on chat again. The Danny chat, it seems right now. Would love to see the warp grills. Do you paint those before? Oh, I already read that. Yes. Then how would you paint those custom masks? Well, I guess that's like a breeze to you compared to masking you did for the Aztec stuff on the last model. Yeah. Yeah. I would meticulously mask it. That's what I would do. So. And Danny says, yeah, crickets in here. Well, we're getting near to the end of the stream, so people are probably getting tired and getting ready to head off for the night. I know I am, but yeah. So I think that's probably all of the work I'm going to be able to get done on this tonight, because I need to check the seam work on the bottom and do some touch-ups. Stamp says, I'm still here. Danny, I am not, and I repeat, not replacing the bridge module. The return on effort is too low. I mean, good job doing it. And I'd love to see the results in person sometime, but I'm not doing it. There are times where the return on the effort are simply not worth it. Jordan says, lol, I'm running fiber optics through the Star Destroyer. Very nice. Very nice. Do you have a current picture? Like, do you have a picture of that in process that you can throw up on Discord, and then I can throw up on the live stream for people to see? That could be fun. I'll wait for him to do that if he feels like it. No pressure, though. No pressure, but it's always fun to see the fiber optic work. Oh. Oh. Okay. All right. He put it up there right away, so here it is. Okay. The wiring. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. That feels counterintuitive. No. Okay. Ah! Wrong screen, wrong screen, wrong screen. What did I do? I think I closed out of Discord. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is it. There's the fiber optic. Get rid of the shot. Get rid of the shot. There's the fiber optic work. Wow. Lots of spaghetti there. That's gotta be time consuming. At some point, I would love to do a Star Destroyer that's fully. I mean a Death Star that is fully wired for lighting, with all the windows using fiber optic. I think that would just be pure out cool to do. All right. Let's see. Danny says, "Oh, come on, Andrew. I am not. I am not. Please, I am not." Todd says, "Jordan should be the corner of this stream, lacing fiber." Ken says, "I'm here too." Danny says, "I send you a video of the results." Right? Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it doesn't like seeing something in person does not compare. Like, I mean, seeing something in video does not compare to seeing something in person, which is why I'm bringing the Enterprise D to Wonderfest. Just dropped some more photos in Discord. Oh, there's more photos below now. And Todd says, "This is so well organized, only Jordan could." Yeah, if you're a detail-oriented person, a little bit of CDO, then it helps with those kind of tasks. Okay, let me go back in and find more pictures below. Aha! Ah! Okay. Throwing these up. There we go. Yeah, it looks very neat and tidy, Jordan. Looking really good. Have you test run the lighting with it to see how it's working out? You kind of really have to be neat and tidy with that work. Otherwise, it's just uncontrollable. Very nice, Jordan. Yeah. Okay. Nice to see work going on. And Jordan says they work. Stamp says, "Wow, great job." Yeah, good job on that. All right. We are creeping up here on 11 o'clock, which means it is, and I'm done the work. I'll just see if there's any chat that comes in here, or if you have any questions or anything like that for the last couple minutes. Todd says, "Impressive, George Rue." Right. Both guys working on the stream. All right. Yeah. So that's where things are. I've got the one Enterprise D, Enterprise E primed. It looks beautiful in the primer. The time and effort into the seam work really pays off once the primer is on. Danny says 2 words: bridge module. Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. I should have this one in primer by the end of the week, as in like the end of this coming week, hopefully, and should be getting a video out on the Enterprise E's soon. Wrong. There we go. You don't need to see the chat up on screen, because you've got access to the chat on your screen. All right, so yeah, so this one is fully primed, looks beautiful, primed up. I'm gonna go over it with a fine-tooth comb this week or the next week, and just see what other touch-up work needs to be done with putty work. And this one here, like I said, I need to do some touch-up work on the bottom. And it looks like I've still got some merge work to do with the pylons into the hull. One of the tricky things with this kit, and let's see if I can zoom this in a little bit here. one of the tricky bits is here. Well, one, there's a huge gap always in the pylons to the secondary hull, but getting this swoop down into the secondary hull flush is a big pain. So it looks, on this one, I've still got some work to do, I think. So that will be my job for this week. And I'll probably be getting some work done on the big Enterprise Ds as well. The Enterprise, one of the Enterprise Ds will be going to Wonderfest. It's being hosted at a table in the dealer room, which is exciting. Which means I'm gonna have to build a custom case for it to be able to ship it. Well, bring it. I mean, I'm gonna have to anyway to ship these out to their new homes anyway. But yeah, looking forward to getting these projects eventually done and off the bench. I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't ever suffer from get or done-itis. I'm not going to rush anything, but it will be nice to see these projects go out the door and go to their new homes. So thank you everyone for spending some time with me tonight. I hope that you've enjoyed the stream. If you did, make sure that you hit that like button. If you're new to my channel or you haven't done so yet, why not hit that subscribe button today? Right now, you'll make me very happy if you do. We're currently sitting at 2,478 subscribers. That was 2,479 subscribers earlier today. I don't know what people are thinking. Unsubscribing. Maybe YouTube's just cleaning off old accounts or something like that. But I hope you guys have a great week, great night, and I'll see you again next week. Have a good night, everyone.